is a man in my life. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what his name is. I don't know where he lives. But I do know that because of this really shitty website that I'm not even going to mention, who cross-referenced adult performer legal names and stage names, they were able to find my family. And this man calls my mother at work to tell her all of the horrible things that I do, which, thank God, she's on my team. She's got my back. She knows that I'm a queer woman. She knows that I do porn. She supports my choices. What if she didn't? What if she didn't know that it was a queer woman?
I mean, I thought it, but...
Right.
No, that's totally horrific. I mean, it's like, let's talk about actually protecting the people that, because you mentioned this, right? Of like the porn performers that are supposed to be protected, they're supposed to be shielded by this law.
So it goes beyond condom protection. It goes beyond self-protection.
It's ridiculous.
So many people want to make it a discussion about condoms, and it's not. Like, that's not even the conversation at hand. The real conversation is that it puts our private information in the hands of the people who hate us the most, or who are so fanatical that they will stop at nothing to gain access to us. There's also a part of it that gives the person who proposed the entire legislation an unprecedented position of power in the California state.
Totally.
In order to be removed from this position, it takes a vote from 2 legislative bodies. It's basically the impeachment process. It's something that's generally reserved for constitutional people. Fucking
no, it's people in the highest forms of elected office, for God's sake.
Constitutional officers.
Yes.
He essentially gets a blank check to enforce this porn initiative to protect people who are already consenting to the work that they do, who already have a protocol that's been established. The adult film industry, we test for 7 things every 2 weeks if you're performing. You have to have gotten tested in the past 14 days for HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, Hep B, Hep C, trichomoniasis, and syphilis. Every 14 days. We use an HIV test that is better than anything that your doctor is going to give you. It costs a lot of money, and it detects the RNA of the virus. It's called the Aptima RNA test. And it essentially has, I don't remember the exact window period, but it's very short. I believe it's shorter than the actual testing period. And there has not been a single transmission of HIV on an adult film set in the past 12 years since it was implemented.
Wow.
That has followed protocol. There are people who will say, oh, I got HIV when I was a performer in the adult industry. But if you contract HIV in your private life, it doesn't matter what your actual job was. You didn't get it on set because someone else on set must have had HIV. And if nobody else on set has HIV, you didn't fucking get it on set. So we already have an established protocol that protects us. We have multiple HIV organizations that will attest to the fact that this is an equitable measure of safety compared to condoms.
Yes.
And it's protecting us, and it's fine. And this man wants to take California taxpayer dollars to enforce rules on porn sets for reasons
that are arcane and ridiculous, and ultimately, I would dare say, are just meant to squash, like the adult industry or like the production of porn in general. It's not a safety measure. It's there is no sex. Period. You know,
like a partisan
and it's
agenda.
all blood or other potentially infectious material.
So,
which is common.
My follow-up question: when are you going to run for office?
Lord.
yeah, that's a good question.
I do a lot of political work.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. I mean,
which office are you eyeballing?
None.
Gag me with 10 dicks before I'd ever run for office.
You're like, before I do it.
That's the platform,
it's
right?
There's so much stuff. I mean, especially with Southern California, what is it? The fucking Valley being like the hub of all porn, and then maybe like Miami
it's
or
where
whatever.
We live.
Exactly.
It's Porn Valley. Then a lot of people are moving to Vegas. Miami has its own. Miami is like the annoying little sister of the porn industry.
But it's like how I would really love to see a voice for just sex workers in general, like fuck porn. Like we're talking about, like
the Nina Hartley of a new generation.
Strippers, all the people.
Is one of my favorite people.
She's awesome.
She's one of my idols, and she's one of my favorite.
Likewise. I met her one time, and she totally tried to play off she wasn't Nina Hartley. I was like, "You're Nina Hartley." I'm a fanboy.
No, I'm not.
She was like, "Yeah."
Where could you have the most impact in our political system if you decided to?
I don't know.
I think the most. I'm gonna totally speak for you. You can just tell me to shut the fuck up. Slap me. Ranking.com. It's okay. But just talking to you guys, you can all turn around in your VR headsets and give a shit about the women that you're watching having sex and doing all the crazy, freaky things that you know, pleasure yourselves off to. The strippers, the prostitutes, the porn stars, the sex workers in general. If you enjoy what you're consuming right now, then go out and vote for people that actually give a shit about this woman and give a shit about her life, her circumstance, and protecting both her body and her life.
And you have
her
to be
personal
political,
work.
otherwise you lose what you have.
Yeah.
I was like,
You have to
she's
act.
political enough. You guys,
Vote no
be
on Prop
political. What is it? 60?
60. Prop 60.
Prop 60.
And I think-
Bounce back
Fuck
up.
And I think one of the
you.
things is the most important is disinformation, because as you said, it's like they're taking your privacy away, which is
Yes.
one of the most important parts of it.
Yes.
They're taking your real world protection away of it, and that's what people don't understand. They keep thinking it's condoms, condoms, condoms. So anybody who goes to the polls, they'll see that if they don't care.
The people who make the conversation about condoms are the people who want to distract you from the actual dangers of this issue, which is that our personal privacy and our safety is sacrificed. I mean, this man has found my mother and calls her at work. Imagine what he would do. Imagine what any of these people who threaten my fucking dog would do if they had access to my home address. And it only took them a little bit of time and a couple $100 to access it.
That's
It's
insane.
terrifying. I'm
Prop
scared for
60.
myself and I'm scared
Fuck
for
it.
the other people in my industry.
So let's make this a big issue.
Yes, let's do it.
Are two people filming right now?
Yes.
No on Prop
I'm in.
60.
No
It's
on Prop
awful.
Yes. Yes.
Don't
I'm-
be afraid. It's not about condoms. It's about fucking
Safety.
personal safety.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I feel like we
Thank you.
started on VR.
No, but
porn,
I
and
feel
then we
that's
just
important.
went to,
That's
like,
important. I hate
big
disinformation.
issue.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know the element of it, and that's the thing, you know.
Now, download your channel and vote no on Prop 60.
Yeah.
So yes, that's those are the big. I talk about VR and I talk about porn activism. That's like all I got. I'm a two-trick
Well,
pony.
yeah, I was like, that's all you got.
In a world
like-
of one-trick ponies, though, right? So come on. You're one trick ahead of everybody there.
Tricks.
R for
Thanks,
King.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been really fun
I was
to
like,
do
oh my
all
gosh,
this
give me a
for-
hug. That was